And good afternoon. I'm Tracy Sinclair, and I know that it's Monday, and typically on Mondays we're all focused on just getting the week started, just getting our work done. But today, I just didn't want to miss all these clear skies, and I really wanted to talk a little bit about some of what we can see in the sky while we have these clear skies, because you know in Alaska they don't always last, so we've got to take the opportunity. And in some places it's going to be clear and not brutal cold, which is double bonus. Very excited about that. So of course we've got a lot going on. We've had a round of planets. Last month we talked about the 4 visible planets that you could see in the sky. There were 2 other ones up there, but you couldn't see them unless you had an actual telescope, and most of us are probably not out there with a telescope. We've still got 3 in the sky that are nice and visible, so we're going to talk a little bit about those. Thank you guys so much for joining us. So let's jump right in. This was sent to us by our friend Janice Bunting. Oh my gosh, I wrote her name down. I knew I was right. Janice Bunting. She sent us in this great photo. Now this is a picture of the moon, obviously in that perfect crescent. That just happened like 2 nights ago, yes, on the 1st. So I was even out and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's that perfect crescent that looks like the picture from The Little Prince. That's what you always see him sitting on. So beautiful. And then right next to that is Venus. Venus is going to stay bright in the sky through the rest of February and all the way into March. Probably about mid-March is when it will start to fade away. It is going to disappear out of the evening sky. There's a little closer up shot that Janice sent to us. But as I said, by mid-March, the Venus will leave the evening sky, but it will return in the morning in April. So it will become a morning star by the time we get to April. Now, the moon is doing a lot of cool things, or it's buddying up to a lot of cool shots. This is another shot that Wesley McKee sent us, and this was a shot of the moon. And again, you can see Venus there. Think of how bright that has to be to not only see them at that distance, but there's a street light and it's not even quite dark outside, and you're still able to see Venus in the evening sky. Now, Venus does set, I think, in the south central area about, let me see, I'm checking my app. Venus sets about 10:15, 10:20 in the evening. So at that point, you won't be able to see it. So from sunset all the way into 10:15ish, you have a pretty good chance of seeing Venus. So definitely check that out. And of course, sunset in Anchorage tonight is 5:14. Into the interior, Fairbanks for you, it's at 4:42. Utqiagvik 4:05, and then all the way out to Adak 6:39. So we still got plenty of daylight or darkness at night, so we can get a good chance to see some of these. So Wesley, we really appreciate you sending that in. As I said, we're seeing the moon next to a lot of really cool things, and that is because we've just got a bunch of planets. It's just kind of making its rotation by the planets. Let's go ahead and this is a picture sent to us by Bert Kazakin. I apologize that I'm mispronouncing your last name, Bert, but this is a picture that's got really some interesting things going on. But first, so the moon has been hovering near Venus. By about the 5th of February, on the 5th of February, it's going to be hovering near the Pleiades star cluster, and then it's going to be right near Jupiter. So if you see the moon and a planet on the 6th, that's Jupiter that's right next to that. And then you go out to you go out to the 9th, and that's Mars. And then the full moon will appear on the 12th, of course. So we're just getting that, we've just passed the new moon for the Lunar New Year last week, and now we will be to the full moon on February 12th. So Mars, on the 9th, if you look up and you say, hey, there's a planet right next to the moon, that's going to be Mars. This picture that Bert sent us, I thought was fascinating because it is a picture of Pavlov volcano. That's the peak on the left, the tallest peak. But the peak on the right is Pavlov's sister, which I had never heard of. So I was actually quite fascinated, and it turns out that Pavlov's sister is actually a stratovolcano as well. It's been eroded from its twin a bit, so it's actually about 400 meters lower than Pavlov itself. There's only one time that it's been recorded that it's been erupted, and that was back in the 18th century. So only one recorded eruption for Pavlov's sister, but I didn't know anything about that. So Bert, I appreciate you not only sending in that photo, but giving us the information and titling it Pavlov and Pavlov's sister, so I could do a little bit of research about that, because I was absolutely fascinated by that. So we've been talking a lot about the moon, which has been amazing, and the stars. And of course, we're all a little bit curious about the aurora. We had a nice burst of aurora on the first Saturday night into Sunday, so the first into the second. Probably going to be the last one for a little bit. We will have another one coming up in about a week and a half, maybe better chances toward the end of the month. But let's take a look. Oh, I jumped all the way back when I wanted to go forward. Let's try this. There we are. John Washington sent us this. So talking about the aurora, but there's also the Big Dipper right in the middle of that. The other thing we're also seeing in the night sky, Orion. Orion's the easiest, one of the easiest constellations for you to find in the night sky. And I hope that my signal's going through on Facebook. It looks like it's trying to be locked up just a little bit. So hopefully it is going through on there. So there was a great picture that John sent us of the aurora, just kind of a faint aurora, and the Big Dipper. He also sent us this one, really a beautiful picture of the aurora there, and some lovely snowy colored trees in the foreground. These were just taken over this past weekend. I love this one. Look at that star field out there. Rob Tapana sent this. He said he took it around the Portage area. Really a beautiful and kind of distinctive aurora there. The purple at the top and the bottom, and then of course that bright green with those lines through the middle of it. So a lovely, lovely shot of the aurora. Rob, we really appreciate you sending that photo in. And Tracy tried. Tracy, we love to see your photos. Tracy tends to shoot out in the Palmer area, out in the valley, and said it was about 0 degrees when he was out shooting this. So not only do I appreciate your photos, I appreciate you being willing to go out at 0 degrees and stand there and take these pictures. And here's another one by Tracy. Really, I mean, it probably wasn't the brightest burst that we had, but it has been a lovely burst. Deborah Reeves sent us in that photo. Again, nice picture, got some stars in there, and got that beautiful aurora as well as the trees in the foreground. Just love some of these photos. This is the kind of aurora that's amazing to me, that direct view down, coming down from above. So Deborah again sent us in that photo. Nice picture of some of those stars moving through. Oh, was that my last one? That was not my last one. I apologize. I'm hitting the wrong buttons all over the place. Oh, it was my last one. That was my last photo. I thought I had one more. But as I said, let's talk a forecast, because we had the burst on Saturday night into Sunday. Or Friday night into Saturday. It was just over the weekend. We do look like, the forecast looks like there's another pretty good forecast burst coming through, about a 5 on the 12th. Now this is the 27-day forecast, so it isn't quite as accurate as we see when we do the 3-day forecast. We keep watching, of course, it keeps getting updated. And then toward the end of the month, as we finish up February and move into March, it looks like then will be another good couple of days of level 5s. So we will keep watch on that. Please, we love to see your photos. We can't wait for you to send them to us. And the easiest way to get them to us is to go to alaskasnewssource.com, and right there at the top it says submit photos and videos, and that's the easiest way to get your pictures to us, because then we can put them right on the air, or I can use them here on Skywatch. Love to see the aurora, sunsets, moon rises, all of the scenery that we get. So thank you so much for sending them to us. I'm trying to see if there's anything I wanted to mention in the sky. That's it. Don't forget, you can see Venus, Jupiter, and Mars all the way through the next month, and we're going to keep Mars and Jupiter in the night sky for at least another couple weeks, and same with Venus before Venus starts to become a morning star back in April. Thank you so much for joining us on Skywatch. Have a great day.